They've got a cave where they used to age meats, and they age some whiskeys in there now, and that's
meat whiskey. That's what.
Well, if hey guys, this is the Bigfoot Bourbon Company review of one of the bourbons that I've been looking for a while. After hearing about it online, Bruzel has been really big advocate for this. Ben Holladay soft red wheat Rickhouse proof, so higher proof. So I'm Charles, this is
John,
and we are here to kind of explore this and see what we've got in this bottle. This was originally a distillery only product, to where you could only get it when you'd visited, but then they started distributing, and Georgia, where we're at, has just started to get this more consistently. I've seen the bottled in bond soft red wheat and just straight bourbon for the past few months, but very rarely. I mean, this is the first time I've seen this. When I saw the Rickhouse proof of the bourbon, but it's the first time snapped it up. It was about $80. I think that's about $10 over the retail, but that's okay.
That's not out of line with a good whiskey or bourbon.
Absolutely.
That's fair enough.
Right, no, and that's about what you're going to get nowadays. The older you get, of course, the more price you're going to pay. So this is a unique mash bill. It's going to be 73% corn and 15% soft red wheat, which is a different type of wheat than most other wheated bourbons. So this is a particular variety that's going to give it a little bit of a smoother and softer finish. And then it's going to be 12% barley. And this is going to be at least 6 years old. And that's kind of evidenced by the fact that this is a Missouri whiskey. So this is made in Missouri. And it's actually, there's a law passed in Missouri that, exactly, they're DSP-5 from Missouri. But they had a law that was passed for making something a Missouri whiskey. So it has to follow all the rules of a bourbon. Plus, every component has to be from Missouri.
Oh, wow.
So the grains, the wood, and the barrel is from Missouri.
Oh, wow.
Like,
the cooperage, everything.
Right, everything is Missouri born and bred.
Oh,
so,
wow, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, and so the guy that's kind of started Ben Holladay, the property was around since the early 1800s. There's a limestone spring that was discovered by Lewis and Clark. Fascinating little story. But they renovated in 2015, started doing tours in 2016, and then they started, this is the first, 2023 was the first year that they put out soft red wheat, because they wanted it to be 6 years. And 2002 was the first year they put out their just straight bourbon. So this is a relatively new product, but they waited for it to age. Now they do have some little bit special additions. They've got a cave where they used to age meats, and they age some whiskeys in there now. And that's
meat whiskey. That's what.
Well, if there's no meat in there anymore,
I know.
But it's this cool little bottle, and you can only get it at the distillery. And they're experimental, so they have like a double toasted and stuff like that.
This does beg the question: is there a hard red wheat?
I don't know if I want to try the hard red wheat.
Okay.
All right, so let's pop this fella open and see what we got.
I'm very excited about this one. I'm not.
Ooh, it's a screw cap.
What?
Look at that. No kidding. Okay. That's unusual. All right, Ben Holladay.
Time. We see you. All right.
All right. Oh, it's got a nice color.
It does.
It's really
it's
got a nice amber color. Yes, beautiful.
Amber honey.
Absolutely beautiful. Man, that is just gorgeous. And for 6 years, I guess, I mean, if you can kind of see that, it definitely has a darker color than I may have expected for a 6-year-old whiskey. Now, I will say this is kind of like an interesting comparison, because one of the more fancy products that was put out in the last year, Daniel Weller from Buffalo Trace, that is using soft red wheat as well, instead of the traditional wheat that like a Weller line would have in it. So this is kind of similar in the way that it was produced. Probably not the same. I would imagine that's probably at least 10 to 12 years old.
Maybe not $2,500 a bottle.
Well, $500 retail. Okay. I mean, I don't.
Okay.
But that's a lot lower proof. This is 120.1. And actually, this is such a cool bottle, in that there's so much transparency on the side that it shows when it was distilled, when it was bottled, the rick house that it was in, and then the floors. There were 5 of 7 floors were used for the barrels, and then 77% were located on floor 4. And if you ever get a chance, I sent him a text last night. We're science guys, so it was such a they have a distiller's journal where the master distiller kind of talks about what they did. So he talked about bottling this and then the experiments that he had, adding water, and he has like a control group and then the experiment.
I love it.
Super
and
cool.
Notes on tasting notes.
Check out their website. It's phenomenal.
If you like data.
Yeah,
if you're a data person.
And just hearing the story that they take.
Yeah.
I mean, they talk about, pulling different barrels and tasting them. It's just, if you're interested, if you want to nerd out, let's go. All right, let's smell it.
All right.
Cinnamony, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, you got that big red note. It's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
It's light.
It's not overpowering. It's a slightly alcohol forward, slightly, but that's not very. I mean, it's not just straight like pepper or cinnamon or caramel. There's definitely a little bit of that
but it's
alcohol.
not overpowering though.
It complements it.
Yeah.
But I do get a little grain in it, just a tiny bit.
Grains, kind of a nutty note there.
Yeah. All right, let's taste her.
All right, let's go.
Cheers, my man.
Cheers.
Boy, that's interesting.
That's spicy.
It is. I mean, that's right up my alley. I love
Yeah.
a spicy whiskey.
Oh man,
That's
the notes
very
just kind of
cinnamon forward, but I love it. I mean, I've got a bottle of Willet that was one of their purple top releases to Georgia, and very similar in the cinnamon profile that they've got here.
Oh, that does. I mean, that's
Yeah, but it's smooth. Like it's not. And I don't necessarily love to use the term smooth when we're talking about a whiskey, but
no.
it kind of smoothly flows over your tongue, and you can just get so many different flavors. Like so, in the back I got a little bit of molasses. The front's more cinnamon.
There's some cinnamon. There's some herbal notes in there.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
That is good.
Yeah. All right. The finish holds on for a long time.
It rolls over your tongue,
Yeah.
and it kind of hugs your tongue.
Yeah, it absolutely does hug your tongue. It's got a nice but I will say I do get a little bit of that herbal notes in the finish. Like
Yeah, there's
it's almost a
something there.
grassy type of like freshness almost, and maybe that's just younger. I mean, think about this is 6 years old. What's going to happen when this turns to be, a 10-year or a 12-year release? That's going to be interesting. I would love to see the difference because, I mean, look at the color. I mean, that has taken on the characteristics of the barrel, 100%. So
you lay in some darker notes and some leathery notes on top of this, and you are going to have a magical.
Yeah. No,
this is good.
This is delicious.
Yeah.
And for $80, man. Hold on, I know we haven't talked about value yet. We'll get there. But, I mean, this is a phenomenal bottle of whiskey based on just the flavoring. Try this new Missouri whiskey. I don't know about Missouri. Who knows? It's not. That's kind of near Kentucky.
Here's the thing, though. Would you offer this to someone who's like that outsider bourbon drinker? I don't think I would give this.
No, I would reserve this for somebody that
who
has a more
bourbon.
mature palate.
Yeah.
Because if you try and give this to somebody, like if I had my wife come down here, it's too spicy for her. It's for me. I love this. I love a spicy. If you like a little bit of a spicy bourbon, I mean, I can still feel the cinnamon on my tongue.
Oh, it's got
like
a
it's
long
like I just
finish.
chewed. It's
That
like
is
I just
long
chewed Big
finish.
Red. I mean, it really is. Okay, so
All
the
right.
nose.
The nose. Honestly, the nose.
I think it undersells.
Now that I've tasted
it undersells.
it undersells the.
But it's nice. Like it's nice.
pleasant.
It's pleasant. So I mean,
nice notes.
6 for me. 6 to 7.
I'm gonna.
It's not overwhelming, so maybe not even that. Maybe a 5 because it's not just like in your face.
I'll
It's
go
a lot
6
more.
with you because it is a really nice.
Let's
nose.
compromise at a 5.5. So about
Okay.
a 5.5. 5.5 would be
I'm with
where our
you there.
nose is.
All right.
Okay, so let's
Taste.
Let's do the taste.
Is it totally subjective? I'm gonna put this at an 8.
Yeah.
Just and it's just because we have that palate now where it's like that's what I'm looking for. That's what I want.
I mean, I really like the flavors that you get to experience, but I don't know if it's an 8. I don't know if it's there yet. I think maybe
Maybe in a couple years it might
but,
be
I mean,
an 8.
I would say this is about a 7.
Okay.
It's absolutely fantastic, but I got to reserve those 8s, 9s, and 10s for just something truly
The
exceptional.
things that we know live in that area.
Yeah, we can't get them, so we'll never know. But this one, guys, if you see this one, boy,
Okay.
really consider. All right, so let's talk about the finish. The finish
Yep.
is long.
I love the
delicious.
finish.
I mean, I think
Great.
the finish is probably the better part of the whole thing because I'm still enjoying that.
Oh yeah, that note is still there.
And it's just
really
not.
nice.
It's not an unpleasant note. It's very,
No.
very nice to continue to have that flavor in your mouth. I mean, I would say the finish would probably be a 7 too for me. 7 to 7.5.
Oh, we're rating finishes now.
Yeah,
Is that
why
what
not,
it
man?
All right,
Give
yeah,
it- give it every-
100%. This is a 7 finish. Honestly, I would rate the thing this does best is its finish. I think. It just kind of hugs
It's
your
just
tongue,
still there.
and it
I mean,
just
literally
stays there the whole
still there.
time.
It's gonna hold on for a bit. That Kentucky
It's
hug.
lovely.
Okay, so I paid $80 for this. I think the retail is 70, maybe 75, 80 if you buy it at the distillery. Value.
I've had better $80 whiskeys.
I have two.
I've had worse.
I've had a
$200
lot worse, yeah,
whiskeys.
but this is phenomenal. For $80, I would buy it again, 100%. If I'm at a liquor store and I see this sitting on the shelf, let me get it. It makes me want to go buy the other one, the bourbon
Just to
Rickhouse
try it out.
proof,
Yeah,
just to
oh,
see
man,
how that
just to
is,
see
and
what it's
compare the
like,
two.
yeah.
But I mean, specifically the soft red wheat is what I wanted to explore.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that they put out, and I think that it's something that is unique on the market.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so for value, I would put this.
my
I would
goodness.
honestly put this at an 8 for value. I mean, because it's only $80, I could see.
$80 with that flavor.
Yeah.
That's you,
I would see.
You gotta put it.
I would say between a 7 and an 8. I would be comfortable with an 8 because I would absolutely go buy another bottle of this right now.
I think this is gonna get more expensive.
I think it
That's my
will
fear.
too. Ben Holladay, if you haven't tried them, check it out. There's a bottled and bond variety that's not Rickhouse proof that maybe you don't like the high proof. Maybe that's a path for you. But great stuff.
All right, guys. Here's what we need from you. What's your best whiskey, bourbon outside of Kentucky?
Rye, throw a rye in there.
Rye.
All right, guys. If you don't see this on your shelf, ask your liquor store because it's fantastic. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys.